Good morning, guys. My name is Miss Dupree, and I'm going to be your reading teacher for this week. We are in Unit 4, Week 2, and we're working in jobs in my community. So we should all have a special job that we've chosen that we would like to research. So for my use this week, I'm going to use firefighters as my special job. Now, you guys are going to keep whatever job you chose for the entire unit, and you're going to become an expert on that job, kind of like you became an expert on the bug that you studied. So let's talk about what we're going to start off with. So we have 7 research questions. So our first research question is to define and describe this job. So that means during our read to self time this entire week, we're going to be wanting to read about whatever our job is. So since mine is firefighters, then I'm going to be reading about firefighters so that I can define what their job is and describe it to somebody. Before we get started, there are a few words that I felt that you guys might not be familiar with. So I kind of created a little glossary for us before we get started so that you will know what these words mean if you hear them in the stories that I'm reading. The first one says purpose, the reason for which something is done or created. So in this study, we're going to use purpose as the reason why our certain job was created or why it's done. So for my example, why do we have firefighters? Why did we make that a job? Why did we create those positions? So we want to find the purpose of their job. Responsibilities, a thing that one is required to do as a part of a job. So the different responsibilities that your job might have. Like a firefighter, they've got to put out fire, they've got to be able to rescue people. Those are some of their responsibilities. Specialty, a skill to which someone has devoted much time and effort to become an expert. So we know with firefighters that their specialty is going to be putting out fires because that's what they train to do the most, right? They have special equipment for it. That is what they're experts at. And they also teach us about fire safety. And community, a large group of people who live in the same area, because often we want to think about the community that our job services. Depending on different communities, there might be different services that our job needs to offer people. So I'm going to read a story to you guys real quick. It's called Community Helpers Firefighters. You can find this book on the ARC bookshelf if you are also studying firefighters. So we've got a table of contents right there. On fire, smoke rises into the air. There's a house fire. Firefighters race to put it out. The firefighters quickly spray water on the flames. The house is saved. What are firefighters? Firefighters answer to all emergencies. They rescue people and put out fires. Firefighters work in big cities and small towns. Some keep parks and wilderness areas safe. What do firefighters do? Firefighters arrive first to emergencies. They help people who are injured or sick. So not only just putting out fires, right? They help people also who are hurt or if they're sick. Firefighters get everyone out of burning buildings. They use many tools to stop fires. Firefighter gear, helmet, air mask, fireproof outfit, and steel-toe boots. Firefighters also teach people about fire safety. This helps stop fires before they start. What makes a good firefighter? Firefighters are alert. That means that they're always paying attention to their surroundings. They work for many hours at a time. Firefighter skills, they need to be caring, strong, alert, and brave. Firefighters are also strong. They stay fit to help keep people safe. They need to be able to lift all that heavy equipment, right? And there's a little bit of a glossary in the back of this book. So now let's look at what our FPO is for this week. We're also going to be taking down certain wow facts. I think these will be good whenever we're answering questions because we might read something in this book that we find interesting and we might not need it for this research question, but we might be able to go back to that wow fact for one of our other questions. So this would be an ongoing document that you would want to keep up with, okay? So I put on there, they teach about fire safety to help prevent fires. So not only do they put out fires, they're also teaching people in hopes that they won't have to come and rescue us, right? So this is our FPO for this week. So research question 1, you are supposed to describe and define, okay? So this is a description of firefighters. That's my job. So I'm going to go ahead and type in firefighters. Okay, because that is what I'm studying. So a description of firefighters. So there's 2 columns and then there's 3 different rows. So the first column is the purpose or role in the community. So the first question, it says, what is the mission of people in this job? So that's the first thing. What is this job in general? What do communities trust them to take care of for everyone? Those can kind of be the specialties. That's the way we're going to break it down. So I think in general, the mission of this job is to rescue people, right? To rescue people. That's what we think of when we think of firefighters. We think that they're going to save us. They're going to rescue us, right? So now I want to think about what the daily tasks or responsibilities would be for rescuing people. What do people in this job actually do while they're working? So in order to rescue people, we know that they need to arrive on scene first. Firefighters are always the first to arrive first to emergencies. And to rescue people, so we would say to help sick / injured people. And we could also say that their responsibilities are to put out fires. So those are kind of their daily responsibilities. Now I'm going to look at their two specialties. So my first one that I'm going to put is going to be in just helping people, helping the sick or injured, and then we'll also put their specialty of putting it out a fire. So to help people in an emergency, because they're trained for many different things, not just putting out a fire. So what would be some things that they would need to do to be able to help people in an emergency? So they would need to train a lot, right? Train and practice skills needed to help people. So I would think of like first aid. They need to be able to help people because if they get on scene and they see somebody needs first aid, they're going to go and help them, right? I would think that they would need to be able to do things quickly, right? So they need to practice their time in their responding, practice response time. And I would also say they probably need to be able to be pretty strong to be able to help people, right? They might, because you never know what they're going to have to help with. They might need to lift something heavy. They might need to pick up a person. Now, I know that I probably wouldn't be able to pick up a full-grown adult, but firefighters are often able to pick them up so that they can rescue them, right? So I would think that they would need to exercise a lot to stay strong. Heavy items. And those items may be people, maybe they have to lift certain things that might have fallen on somebody, so it could be anything. So that's their first specialty. The next one is the one that we think of a lot when we think of firefighters, and that's in putting out fires. Okay, so let's think about what their daily roles would be in putting out fires. So when I think about putting out fires, I think that they're going to probably need to practice getting into certain buildings, how they would go through the buildings, practice how they're going to help people, carrying them out. So, and practice putting on their gear very quickly. So let's say practice putting on their gear, because remember they have special outfits when they go into the fire that we saw in the book, quickly. They also need to practice, they practice going through fires and drills and stuff like that. All right. And another important thing, not only just putting out fires, but they also want to teach people about fire safety, right? So hopefully they don't have to put out as many fires. So teach people about fire safety. Because we know that a lot of us have taken field trips to the fire station, or they've came to our school to talk to us about fire alarms and different safety things, right? So I would think that that would be a big part of their job. When they want to put out fires, they want to also prevent the fires, okay? All right, guys, that is what we're going to work on for today. So you're going to want to start filling this out for your job. You might not finish it all today. You can add more to it tomorrow, okay? Remember, you can find plenty of books on your jobs on the ARC bookshelf or on Epic. So whenever you're on your reading time today, you really need to be researching. You might want to have this paper handy so that when you read, if you can find something to put on your FPO, you can go ahead and add that. All right, guys, have a great day.